Hello, my name is Cheryl Wilson and I'm an abstract artist. And if you're new to my channel, I'm in the middle of an artist challenge that I hope you would join me and go back and catch day 1 and finish from day 2 through 5. If you're joining me again, thank you. Today is day 2 of my artist challenge, getting to know yourself and planning for 2022. Day 1 was titled Self-Healing, and I hope you watched that video. And if you didn't, go listen to that video too, because it kind of ties in with today. And today is understanding your inner critic. I feel your deepest artwork comes from within your soul. It is from the passion that we have, even in our own life experiences, that show up in our artwork. Then we allow this passion and our life stories to come through our artwork, and then that can be exciting and fresh. The mind is a part of our soul, and so it's connected in this process. And in the mind is when the inner critic comes to life. She, as I call her, is present in all of us, but it is how we control her that is the key. Your art journey may still be in the process of being crafted. Your journey will unfold day by day if you show up. Push your inner critic to the curb and just paint the art from within your soul, and this is when you will dance. Okay, for this day and this art challenge, I thought about something that helps me. And the painting, I did 2 paintings. They're on double speed, so don't think I work that fast. But I wrote words on paper on both of these paintings. I wrote the inner critic. I wrote that I will put the inner critic in the corner. I wrote basically when I enter the art room, I will ask the inner critic to leave. I actually ask all the old art teachers I ever had to leave, and I even tell myself to leave. I get out of myself. I get out of my way. And I spend time in the art room and in my studio with pure thoughts as much as I can. Now, I've done anger paintings. There was a couple times I was very angry about something, which is not usual for me. And my paintings turned out great because I got out the emotions on the paper. But normally I go into the studio and I just let the room be free of anything that could deter me from bringing out my soul. So I have a clip that I actually taped about a year ago. And I put it on my blog, but the words in it still apply today, so I've inserted that here for you. But this is the challenge if you want to do it, and then share it up on the Facebook page, or even with the hashtag intentionalartist, putting words down on paper and then painting. Just enjoy yourself. These don't have to be a painting that you're going to sell, or it doesn't have to be a perfect painting. It's basically a painting that you're knowing intentionally that you are putting the words behind you, and that you will use this exercise to remind yourself to always let go of the inner critic, put it away, tell her to go have a cup of coffee, and create with your purest soul. And so watch me paint, and I'll insert the clip of me talking about the inner critic. And I hope this is some help to you, and I hope that you enjoy the painting. I wanted to talk with you. I've been blogging and doing a lot of research on this thing called the inner critic versus my creative soul. Now, these are just my personal thoughts. I am not a doctor or a psychiatrist or anything like that. I just know that at my age, I was having some issues with going into my art studio and having these thoughts that were stopping me from being creative. And so I wanted to figure out what they were. I always thought that I was being negative. And I would tell myself, okay, don't be negative. Well, I learned that that's easy to say, but how do I stop that? And I know along the way, people have imparted wonderful meaning, people, and events. I've had a lot of losses in my life, but these events have imparted fears in my life, have imparted some sayings in my life that have stuck. And in turn, they pop up. In fact, let me tell you a story. There was, I guess, months I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would have this reoccurring thought. And I thought it was just a negative thought. It's something in my life that I have to change. And actually what it is cleaning out my storage area because I'm paying for it. Anyway, too much information. But I would wake up. Why this thought came into my mind, I don't know. I think along the way someone said, you're paying for a storage area that you barely look at. So that's just an example. You have these thoughts that come up in your mind. And it's now I've learned to call it my inner critic. I also learned one important thing. My inner critic and my creative soul, they cannot coexist at the same time. So if my inner critic is active, then I cannot be creative in my art studio. I can't even, do any journaling. Or for you, it could be blogging or doing a YouTube channel or writing a book or doing your crafts, making earrings, whatever it is. I think when you have this inner critic, it affects the creative soul in you. So from what I've been learning, it's a practice I'm doing on a sometimes daily, hourly basis, is I'm accepting that I have this inner critic. It's in my life. She's wonderful. And she will come up sometimes in the middle of the night or in the morning. So say it's in the morning, I say, okay, come and have a cup of coffee with me. Let's have breakfast. And then now you've got to go. You've got to, get away. If it's in the evening, come have a glass of wine, whatever, some sparkling water. And then, okay, we've had our time together. I acknowledge you. And that's the important thing, is to acknowledge it's there. I can't honestly say that they're all negative feelings, because these are just feelings that may not be necessarily negative. They may be fear or something else, whatever it is in your life. But you acknowledge it and then you go away. Okay, it's there. Now go take a hike. Because if you don't have that ritual in your life, or that ritual that you do, for me, to make that conscious effort to separate the two, because in my world, and I really think this happens to a lot of people, they cannot be in the same world or at the same plane. So when I go into my art studio, that inner critic has got to go sit in the living room or sit at the breakfast table, because it's not coming with me into my art studio. And when I create, it's going to be my creative soul and my creative soul only. So I don't know if that helps. And as I study this down the line, and I'm sure there's much more information out, there's a lot of artists that know a lot more about it than I do. I hope to share what I'm learning. I mean, here I am in my 60s now, and this is something that I've just decided to get a hold of. And I am not what I've always considered. Let me go the other way. I've been a very positive person. Most people would say I'm upbeat positive. In fact, if I walk in a room and I'm not smiling, everyone says, "What's wrong with you?" So to have that part of my life be something that I want to get a total control of, I'm just really happy that I've learned a way. So I hope this has helped. So that was the end of my insert, where I talk about the inner critic that I had written for my blog about a year ago. And like I said, it's still very appropriate, and I still feel the same way today. So as I'm painting through these two paintings, I'm really covering up those words. And by the time I'm at this layer, I don't even think about anything but enjoying the paint and all the thoughts of composition and color and spacing and putting the marks down that I love. All those things are starting to be more of a focal point for me, which is the way it should be when you're in your art studio painting. And the thoughts of any negativity have long gone. So that's what I hope for you. So I hope this challenge does that for you, and I'd love to hear the results. And it may take several times. You have to, they say it takes 7 times for something to become a habit. So if you have to do this 7 times before it becomes a habit, or it's something that you will remember, and then when you start to have self-doubts, and you will have times of being critical, you will have people that will be critical to you, or you will have no one even respond on social media, and then you take that as a criticism. Remember that this is your journey. You are only in competition with yourself, and removing any negative and removing that inner critic is like the best thing that you can do when you go in your art studio. So tomorrow will be day 3, and I am going to be talking, I have several ideas of opening the mind beyond where we're at. So right now we've done a self-reflection of who we are as an artist. We've learned how to quiet that inner critic and how to put all the negativity behind us. So now it's time for us to jump into some concepts of art that we can actually use to move forward. So the next one is going to be a concept of facing your fear. And I'm going to be putting some things out there for you to challenge you to take your next steps into facing the fear. And I am also going to be doing the challenge and pick something that I have not done before. So it will be fearful to me to paint something live for you on video that I haven't done before. But I'm excited to do it, and I hope you will be too. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Again, I'd love to see any results that you have, but the main thing is this is your journey. This is for you. You don't have to share it if you don't want to, but I do hope it's been helpful for you.